and gentlemen, it is Kevin Jackwoods here with a Kaged review, and I'm going to review SmackDown for May 22nd, 2018. And coming off the heels of Raw, there's really not a whole lot of expectation for this. Raw was terrible. Absolutely horrible. So, hopefully, they pick up the pace. Let's get into this, see how they did. So you start out with Miz TV opening the show. And Miz is interviewing the three members of the New Day, trying to figure out which one they are going to put into the Money in the Bank ladder match. And of course, they keep going around in circles, and they're not going to give him any information, and it winds up that Miz, already being in the ladder match, says it doesn't matter, he can beat any of those three any day. And so New Day's like, okay, fine, we pick Big E. Miz is like, okay, so we finally know who's in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then they're like, no. Big E to face you tonight, since you can take any of us one-on-one. Well, of course Miz is going to be like, well, since I don't get what I want, you're not getting what you want. And then they had kind of a funny bit where they got the pancakes, and each one of them, they take a turn, and they do the Game of Thrones shame thing where they're like, shame, and they throw a pancake in his face. That was pretty funny. Miz, he takes off, goes up and past the curtain, past the gorilla position there. Paige meets him and says, well, since you said you could beat any of the New Day, you got that match with Big E. So it turns into Miz versus Big E. Kind of an entertaining match. More with the comedy than with the actual match itself. I mean, the matches that Miz had, I don't think that there's ever anything spectacular about him. And Big E, he's pretty agile for a big man, and I like him, but he's still a big man, and that's not what I gravitate towards as far as the matches I like to see. So it was a decent match, but they made it entertaining with some of the stuff they did, so I like that. You have the Bar come down, Cesaro and Sheamus, and they start taking out Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That distracts Big E. Miz gets skull-crushing finale, gets the win. And then you get a very small clip where you see Big Cass on crutches, apparently re-injured his leg at a house show and is not medically cleared to fight. And I still am saying that I think Big Cass is in trouble for that bit he did with the little person a couple weeks back, where apparently he was only supposed to kick him and went into a full beatdown when they told him not to do that. But who knows? Then you get a Daniel Bryan backstage interview talking about Jeff Hardy, how he's a legend, but you know, this is his chance to get back in the Money in the Bank ladder match, so he's going to have to make a legend tap. And then you get Lana versus Billie Kay, and Billie Kay comes down with Peyton Royce, and they do their typical obnoxious promo. And it's kind of like, I think I've realized why I have such a problem with this. It's the same thing that WWE has been doing for literally years and years and years. It's lazy writing. You're trying to get heel heat on people by having them just be massively annoying. And it's like, I think in my mind, you can get heel heat in different and better ways than just trying to annoy people. And I think that's what it is for me at this point, is it's just kind of lazy how you try to get heat. Especially in today's market, since it's already been overly done so much. God, Vicky Guerrero, I mean, she was very, very good at it. But it's just obnoxious now. It's not really entertaining. And that's what I think I'm taking away from the more I see this kind of stuff and, you know, looking into it as a fan. It's like, you know, obnoxious is done. It's played out. But anyway, this wasn't even a match. Aiden English was with Lana. He started cheering for her outside. He had a Lana Day sign. Peyton Royce came over and started going off on Aiden, slapped him. Lana goes out, throws Peyton Royce into the barricade. Billie Kay comes in, attacks Lana, throws her in the ring. As soon as Billie Kay gets in the ring, Lana hits her with a kick, hits her with a finisher. Done. Lana's in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And then one of these idiots, I forget who it was, on commentary was like, hey, Lana picks up her first win, trying to make this big deal. They already made a big deal of Lana picking up her first win, so pay fucking attention to the market or the product that you're commentating about, because you're way late. But then again, WWE has a tendency to do that. After that, you got a Zelina Vega promo with Andrade Cien Almas, saying that they came there for real competition. They cut to commercial, come back. It's Andrade Cien Almas versus some local nobody. It was something Prince, I don't know, not important. A faceless guy. So of course it was a squash match. And Andrade, he just runs right through the guy. No stakes. No build up for the character because, again, they're trying to build up people coming in with these absolute nobodies. So, kind of a pointless segment there. I like that they brought Almas in, but they're not doing anything with him. Just like they did with the Bludgeon Brothers. I just don't like building people on nobodies. Sorry, I don't. Then you get a backstage Carmella interview talking about how she's going to beat Asuka. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in-ring segment. AJ Styles is trying to figure out what the stipulation is. Nakamura's not giving him anything. Eventually Nakamura goes for the low blow that AJ blocks. And then they're off to the races. They go back and forth, beating each other down. Eventually Nakamura gets the better of AJ. Drops him stomach first onto the announcer table outside the ring. Hits him with a Kinshasa outside the ring. And then finally it's going to be a last man standing match with AJ Styles and Nakamura at Money in the Bank. Which is fine with me. I mean, I think that makes sense with all the stuff they've done. With the low blows and now they can get away with anything. And it's kind of, you know, better man wins scenario. So that's fine. Then you get Usos versus Gallows and Anderson. Gallows and Anderson just coming over from Raw. Usos have been pretty much the mainstay of the tag team division for, well, pretty much the entire time they've been there. It's been Usos and New Day, and that's really been about it. So Gallows and Anderson come in, and this is going to be a match where the winner gets the Bludgeon Brothers at Money in the Bank. So I was really kind of hoping that they would give it to Gallows and Anderson just based on the fact that Usos has already had that rivalry going and they've been champions so many times already. I really like the Usos. I really do. I think they are phenomenal. But I also think if you stick to one thing too long, it loses its specialty. And so they have Gallows and Anderson with a pretty good match with the Usos. The Usos are really good performers. I really like Carl Anderson. I'm not so big on Gallows. But I think Anderson is kind of the yin to that yang. Because you have the guy who can pull off some really cool moves and then the big brawler type in one team. And that's cool. I like that. So Gallows and Anderson does indeed get the win, which, like I said, I really like. I think, you know, you need some fresh blood in there. So it's going to be Gallows and Anderson versus Bludgeon Brothers. Then you get another women's Money in the Bank qualifier match, which is Naomi versus Sonya Deville. Pretty good match. I gotta say, every time I see Sonya Deville in the ring, I see so much potential there. Like, you know, she hasn't found herself completely yet, but I think she's pretty damn good in the ring. There were a couple of really athletic moves from both girls, and I really appreciate that. You really see that they're trying and really pushing to get better. I mean, Naomi's crazy athletic as it is, but Sonya is definitely working hard. Naomi gets the win after a roll-up, so she is now in the women's Money in the Bank. Then you get backstage interview with Jeff Hardy. He's all amped up about the fight with Daniel Bryan. Of course, he's talking about he's going to win and get the Money in the Bank ladder match briefcase. So, you know, it was cool. Short but sweet. Samoa Joe comes out on commentary for the last match. Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy is the next match. Pretty cool. Kind of a long match. And you had some really cool moments from both guys. The one thing that I have to say about this one in particular is that it seemed like Jeff Hardy started getting very winded at the end. Like he was really sucking wind. You know, he's over 40 now and he's doing the same shit he was doing at 20. And that says something. But, you know, the older you get, the harder it is on the body. And that shows. I mean, he limps around a lot more and, you know, you can see how it's taking a toll on him. In the end, Daniel Bryan does this really deep corkscrew dragon pull, whatever they call it, where he grabs the leg and torques it and then puts him in a leg submission. Jeff Hardy taps. Samoa Joe comes into the ring, says, "Why are you celebrating? Because you have to face me next week." And then they do a small interview with Samoa Joe backstage where he's saying he's, you know, basically going to beat Daniel Bryan and go on to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And that's where they cut the end of the show. I thought it was a little weird that they had the match and Joe was in the ring and then they cut to Joe backstage and doing a backstage interview. But, I mean, that's nitpicking, to be honest. I mean, for the most part, it was kind of well done. I liked the opening. I liked Miz, you know, kind of playing the Miz heel role, and then Paige being like, no, you got to go back out there and have a match. And then they had, you know, like I said, an entertaining match. I think they realized that it's not going to be a wrestling classic, so they turned it into something that was going to be a little bit more comical, which was fine with me. You know, the idea is to have something entertaining, and I think that they did that. The Lana Billy Kay thing, like I said, it wasn't even a match, and I don't know that I even really cared about it, but thankfully, it was very short. I mean, the whole segment probably lasted like, what, 5 minutes? So, at least they knew what they were working with there. I did not like Cien Almas wrestling another nobody. They do a great job of making Almas look strong, and Almas really makes himself look strong. He really sells himself. I just wish they would give him someone else. AJ Styles Nakamura bit. At first I was like, I don't know that I, you know, am into this whole interview type scenario that they've got going on. But then when they changed it up and they actually started going at it, it turned into something pretty cool. So I did like that. Usos, Gallows, and Anderson. Good match, good ending. Naomi with Sonya Deville, same thing. Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy. You know, I liked it all the way around. So, I mean, honestly, it wasn't a great show, and it had some low points to it. But I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. I think 6 out of 10 is pretty fair for what this show was. Because they did have some cool moments, but they got to work it out to where the whole show is cool moments. You want to keep people invested, keep people interested, keep them watching. And I don't know that everything in this show would have done that. So, that's my review for SmackDown May 22nd, 2018. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed the review, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz. Kaged Nation, out.